and welcome to week 2 of Soc 101 Introduction to Sociology. This week we're going to be discussing the development of sociology, how sociology came into being. And we're going to be looking at the main theorists of sociology. We sort of call them the Holy Trinity of sociology: Marx, Weber, and Durkheim. Karl Marx, Max Weber, and Emil Durkheim. And we'll also be looking at some more historical characters in sociology like W.E.B. Du Bois and Harriet Martineau, and also then some more contemporary figures as well. So you're going to get, in Chapter 1, really touch on the gamut, the whole spectrum of sociological theorists. So sociology really came out of conflict in the late 19th century. Karl Marx is sometimes referred to as the father of sociology or the grandfather of sociology. And the interesting thing about him is that he was teaching, or he was reading and researching at a time when more people than ever before were living in cities in England. And he was looking at Manchester and Liverpool and these industrial cities and examining the plight of workers. People who had moved to the cities because there were jobs in industrial factories and who were soon becoming very alienated from their means of production. So they were creating things in a factory that they were not very connected to, as opposed to previously they might have been working on a farm, growing the food that they would later eat. Now they're working in a factory producing some object that they might not even be able to afford to buy, working in harsh conditions, making very little money. So he was studying these workers, and the interesting thing is that the way that Karl Marx was able to do this research, because he was actually very poor himself, is that his partner, his theoretical partner, Friedrich Engels, his father actually owned one of these factories. So there's a whole interesting dynamic, and you can read a little bit about it in the textbook this week in Chapter 1. But there's really a very interesting story about how sociology started really as a product of industrialization and also urbanization. A lot of people starting to live in cities in close quarters. The story of sociology is really the study of modern society, the beginning of modern society as we know it today. So this week, your assignments will have to do with these theoretical beginnings of sociology, and then also the more contemporary. Marx was very focused on capitalism and the economy as a source of change. Max Weber looked at bureaucracies and rationalization. If you're a student in CUNY, you know what a bureaucracy is. Governments are bureaucracies. Large institutions like CUNY are bureaucracies, and these are sort of rationalized places where it's not like the local corner store where you can go and sort of ask for a favor, ask if you can borrow something, ask, if you can have these eggs for free this week and you'll pay next week. Not an economy based on emotions, but rather based on rational human ties. And so then Emil Durkheim followed him in focusing on the division of labor in society as the source of change, sociological and societal change. And then we'll get to the more contemporary readings that are looking at symbolic interaction between people as the most important way to study. So just minor interactions, how people talk to one another, how people interact on a small scale. You can read about feminism this week, which really grows out of Marxism, another conflict theory, and functionalism, structural functionalism will be another topic that you'll read about this week, which is another sociological theory which sort of sees society like an organism, all of the parts working together. So for this week, make sure you order your books if you haven't done that already, and you'll need to post on the discussion board and post on ePortfolio. For this week, you'll be reading Chapter 1, and there's also a Chapter 1 review PDF, which is always located in the materials bar. That's optional. That's if you need a little bit more information or a review. Your ePortfolio assignment is attached, and I'll just pull it up on the screen for you here. You're going to pick any 3 theoretical perspectives, so that can include Marxism, it can include Weber's rationality, it can be structural functionalism, whichever 3 that you're most interested in from this week. And you're just going to fill out this chart, which theorists most apply, what are the definitions, how would you describe that theoretical perspective. And this is a very important assignment because it's really going to set up the first paper for you. Your first paper is going to be comparing some theorists. So this should really help you figure out that first assignment, that first essay assignment that we'll have in a few weeks. And then you'll also need to post on the discussion board. You'll have a choice of two possible topics. One will be, again, just comparing how different themes and different theories in sociology are related. And you can also choose to do this extra short reading. It's just a one-page article, and it's about the modern-day Robin Hood in Spain. Spain's country right now is in an economic crisis, and so it's very similar to the sort of conflict, workers' rights sort of issues that really started sociology to begin with. These workers, if they are employed at all, are not making much money, and unfortunately, there is a lot of poverty, a lot of urban strife in Spain right now, and so this article is actually a really nice connection of Marx to the present day. These issues have not gone away, right? Okay, so that'll be your assignments for this week. It is a short week because we have Memorial Day tomorrow on Monday, and then you'll have the Jewish holidays towards the end of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I expect that you can post something by Thursday, and we don't need to worry about giving comments on each other's work for this week, because if you do celebrate the holidays, I don't expect you to be on the internet this weekend. So if you can comment on your peers' topics on the discussion board, you'll receive 1 point of extra credit for your comments. If you can't do it, it's not a big deal. Again, it's just going to be extra credit if you can do it. But I do want you to post on the discussion board by Thursday your response to either the theoretical backgrounds in sociology or the power of the poor, this article that I just showed you up here. Okay, so either one of those, post on the discussion board by Thursday. The e-portfolio should be up by Sunday night. Okay, so once again, if you have any questions about this week's material, you can refer to the book chapter, you can refer to the materials, and you can always email me as well. Have a great week.